Okay, I'm going to work on doing this more succinctly. Okay, I sometimes meander a bit. It is 97 years after a nuclear war has wiped out the planet. And at the time of the bombs, there were 12 space stations in space. Much more accessible, obviously, in this near future of ours than it is today. Those 300 people that were on those stations are the only survivors. And over 100 years, they put the stations together, created one society that's called the Ark. And the Ark is dying. And because the Ark is dying, they have no choice but to send a mission to the ground again to see if it's survivable. They don't think it will be. It's 100 years till their scientists say it will be. And they send 100 juvenile delinquents. The reason they send that, there's been some question about that, is that there are only juvenile prisoners. There are no adult prisoners. You are executed if you are over 18 years old. And so they send these juvenile delinquents to the ground because they're expendable, to see if it's survivable. They are the 100 canaries in the coal mine, essentially. And they find that their scientists were wrong, and the world is not the world that they expected to find. And that's the show.
I play Clark, and she's pretty kick-ass. She's a really strong character. She's kind of a natural-born leader. I think that the cool thing about her is she doesn't realize that until she's thrust into a situation where she has to really, take the lead. So yeah.
Octavia and Clark, I don't think they could be any more yin and yang than they already are. She always got special treatment up on the dropship for sure, and because of the way that I was raised and how she was definitely given the special roll out the red carpet treatment. I think she's just over it already, straight out of the gate. The fact that she's trying to tell us all what to do, and yeah. The fact that I was raised in captivity, and I'm just like, whatever, this is how it's gonna go. You do your thing, I do mine, and she's gonna have something to say about it. So I have a feeling there's gonna be a massive divide with alliances and how we're all gonna make it work in society.
Background is awful. Like she's been through a lot for such a young woman. And I guess, yeah, she's come from being locked up for, trying to reveal a secret that was going to protect her people. And then, facing execution. It's for a 17-year-old, it's a lot to go through. But now that she's on Earth, I think the sky's the limit for how she's going to grow and, and the challenges she's going to come across.
I mean, to me, that's the most important thing about this show that I haven't seen before. It's the juxtaposition between the Ark, which, template for that, you might think of something like Battlestar Galactica. It's the political situation up there is dark. They're going to have to kill people in order to make more oxygen for the rest of them, and that's happening this year. And on the ground, it's like Lost. So, these are two of my favorite shows, and I put them together. It's like a chocolate peanut butter situation.
I don't think he's a villain at all. I think he's someone who is trying to save or do his best to save the human race from extinction. And the way he goes about it is a bit more severe, a bit more draconian perhaps. So I think he's a moral character. I think, I was just saying, if he had done something wrong, would he float himself? I certainly hope so. You know what I mean? Right.
Well, what villain ever thinks that they're a villain?
Exactly. So
I'm not saying that he is. But
right, but you're absolutely right. I think you're right. No villain ever thinks. It doesn't matter who you are.
Making some very. I just discovered a wonderful analogy. I look at this character pretty much going through what President Obama is going through. Is that no matter what you do, it's going to be disliked and it's going to be wrong. Someone's going to be upset. No matter what you do, no matter how good, right or wrong, it's going to be polarized. Just because he is who he is.
Describe the Chancellor's relationship with Kate. We couldn't quite get our finger on
No, and I can't either yet. I'll be honest with you, because all we have is that scene. But I'm looking forward to seeing how that, if he's with me, if he's against me.
Yeah, that seemed to be a more interesting dichotomy.
It is, because people keep saying I'm trying to take his power, but I don't think, sometimes it's more powerful to be the man standing behind the man in power, so we'll see how that plays.
Octavia Black definitely has a chip on her shoulder. She's been locked up one way or another her entire life. Her crime that she committed to get herself in jail was just simply being born in blasphemy. you're only allowed one child on the Ark due to population control, and I was the second. So my mother had to hide me under the floorboards for 13 years, and when she got busted, she got floated into space, meaning killed, and I got thrown in jail. So naturally, now that she's on Earth, she's pretty stoked to do whatever the hell she wants.
And that includes doing literally anything she wants when they get down to Earth.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think she really has any shame whatsoever.
I think it's one of the touch points that your character kind of represents is these people have to make some incredibly difficult decisions, and I think your character's much more willing to make those decisions, and I'm curious.
Thank you.
How that?
Yeah, I think to make those, you've got to have big balls to make those decisions, to make those cuts, to cull, not everyone could do that, and I think, and I'd like to see that explored more, so then hopefully people will go, yeah, I understand why he's doing that. I agree with him to a certain degree. It depends how right wing or left wing you are, so that's what I mean about, it could be an interesting question about what would you do to save.
Defiant Octavia is. Her and I have a lot in common that way. She's pretty stubborn. I like how she's the only one with a family member on Earth as well, and she's reunited with him again, so she somehow feels a little protected by him, but I think she doesn't want that protection to be too much because it's going to stop her from just being the free bird and spread her wings kind of girl that she wants to be.
Yeah, I know it's going to be. Yeah, someone before was just asking me like if it's kind of Game of Thrones, where they can just kill off any main cast, and I was like, I hope not. But yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of surprises with that. So, yeah.
Automatically going to be intrigued by what's going on the ground and the kids and their stories and the romantic stories. And it's how do you keep the arc engaging? So when you cut back to it, it feels like you're still interested in that story. And I think a couple of ways that we're doing that is what are the idea that it's touched upon a little bit in the pilot, which is that the arc itself is dying. But when you put those stakes on the arc, are they going to have to actually float or kill a certain amount of people to keep them alive? We also
because the fewer people that are up there, the longer the resources will last forever.
Life. At what point will the people on the Ark learn that Earth is in fact survivable? And then how will they try and get down to the Earth? And then the other challenge that we had is, in going forward in the series, is, there's not a lot of scenes between the kids on the ground and their parents or other characters in the Ark. So we're employing some flashback techniques in the series, so at least you can see like Clark with her mother, because otherwise you see them for 30 seconds at the beginning of the pilot and then they're never together again. So using all of that stuff will hopefully make it feel like two separate worlds, but not like two separate
He has a voice, man, and I know what that looks like. I've been there with a person who was in a position like he was. No one knew who she was. No one knew who this show was or what it was about, but I knew and believed in her voice, and the rest is history. I feel that way about Jason.